So what is the agenda of the session? Why, sir, why are you taking the session of understanding CAT-20 for cracking CAT-22? By the name of the session itself, we can infer, we can logically come to a conclusion that session is going to be focused on how exactly to crack CAT-22. So that's the primary agenda of the entire discussion. But my logic says that I've analyzed at least last 30 years of CAT papers and very good focus on last 5 years of papers, at least 4, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So this 5 test papers I have focused a lot, and by a lot I really mean that I have understood, I have checked every question. By that I really mean every question, how to solve it, what are the mechanism, what is the shortcut, how to solve it better, how not to solve it, why is that question asked in the test paper as reputed, as a touted test paper as CAT, why are they asking. Along with that, I've also analyzed as many IFTs and as many ZATs, but I've come to a particular conclusions after analyzing the CAT papers, that why are they focusing a lot on DILR, why DILR is supposed to be difficult, why quant is not going towards very technical stuff and coming towards arithmetic and non-technical stuff. What is happening in verbal ability? Initially verbal ability used to have a lot of this grammar questions and vocab questions. Now why CAT has shifted its focus on something called this, what do you call, only critical understanding of the passages. Why is there no critical reasoning question? Why is there no what do you call vocabulary questions and all that? So after this, doing a lot of analysis, I have come to few very interesting conclusions, which I'll be sharing throughout the session. So mechanism of session will be fairly simple. So first thing first, yes, you are free to ask questions, but I will answer only those questions which are relevant at that moment. So if I am not answering any of the question, please consider that the question is not relevant for that particular moment. So let's say or second thing is, if I'm able to, or I'm going to answer that question in next few minutes, I will not be answering that, or I'll probably say that I'm not going to answer. Okay. So let us start. I think we are well poised to start the session. A lot of detailing is supposed to be done today. Understand, this is not a ज्ञान वाला session जहां पे मैं बैठ रहा हूं और कहानी सुनाए जा रहा हूं. Yes, probably my lecture taking, my session taking style is storytelling and coming to a particular conclusion, but this is more of detailing of the session. You will be seeing a lot of small details, a lot of numbers. So a lot of beautiful pictures are not there in the session, and let me tell you, there is no beautiful picture in the session. All the entire session is about numbers. This number, that number, how to crack this number, how to crack that number, what is this number, how to reach to that number, and so on. So ensure that you are sitting with that mindset. Okay, I'm supposed to deal with a lot of this numbers there. If you're not comfortable, you ask me about that particular number, I'll be telling you the details of that. Okay. So what is the primary agenda of the session? Primary agenda is fairly simple. I'll start with this one. First thing first, I will be going ahead and doing the CAT-21 analysis. Now, in analysis, I will not be sharing only few numbers. So like this, how many questions were there from arithmetic, how many questions were there from RCs, how many questions were there from data interpretation, and so on. So I'm not just going to discuss that. That is already available in innumerable websites across. So the data that I have taken is from our own website, IMSK websites. I have taken the data. So my logic behind taking that data is different altogether. What is that logic? I would like you guys to do one thing. Take that piece of information and try to relate it to what I need to do to reach to that level. Because what has happened so far, previous year CAT has given all of us a fairly clear idea about what is going to happen in the next year CAT. I am not saying by any chance that okay, बिल्कुल ऐसा test paper आने वाला है आगे CAT 2020 में. I am not saying that, but the test papers that are coming in the this be it ZAT or IFT or CAT, at least major 3 test papers, are very close to what actual test paper of the previous year was. And that's how we end up preparing a lot of SimCATs. All the variabilities in the test series We design it that way that we end up reaching to a very close scenario of the actual CAT. In fact, you realize last year in CAT 2021, we had one reading comprehension which was from the IMS custom CATs. So you can understand we are very close to that. So analysis wise, I would like you guys to focus that exactly, not just, okay, there were 10 questions from arithmetic. Understand arithmetic may be what exactly are we supposed to do to reach to that level. So that one. We'll also be seeing CAT-21 score versus percentile. So, sir, what is the need of this? Understand? Few of the students are really good with a particular area. So that is this. Let's say there is a student who is really brilliant as long as quant is concerned. Uska definitely 99.9 percentile aane wala hai. The moment he is going to this verbal ability, sir, I would barely score, 75 percentile or 70 percentile. But unfortunately, with 70 percentile, he will not be able to clear the cutoff of lot of these schools. What actions are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to take to ensure that that student itself, jiska bilkul verbal ability mein aana nahi hai percentile, he is also able to score bare minimum percentile of that. And that is the purpose of score versus percentile data. There is no other purpose. This is also available online. What I'm saying is how to ensure that we are reaching to that particular percentile, right? So, sir, what to call? Most of the AMs I got 75 percentile cutoff. So that doesn't mean that they will be giving you a call on the moment you're having 75 percentile. That simply means if you have a sufficient percentile, let's top 6 Blackie IMs, 99.6 percentile, overall you are scoring that, and in verbal ability, even if that was weak area, you're able to score 85 percentile. That is barely clearing the cutoff of that. Brilliant, you will receive a call. That is what I'm trying to pass on, and that is the purpose of having this score versus percentile. I'll also give you the different usage of that. How do we plan exactly as long as this score versus percentile is concerned? The third one, really important. The most important thing, if you want to take from the session, will be that ability to solve versus months of preparation. So how many questions you can solve with how many months of preparation, that I'll be sharing. Another, all right, I'll retract my words. This is not the third one is not the most important thing. This is probably the most important thing you will end up taking from the session. Layered thinking. What exactly that is, I'll be sharing exactly at that point of time with a lot of examples so that you guys get the proper idea about how a smart CAT aspirant is supposed to think. Okay. And at the end of the session, we will be discussing about role of practice tab and SimCATs. What role do they play exactly in improving your performances? So very honestly, it is not just the knowledge of the area that is going to rescue you in the test. It is also how you can write the test. So I keep on sharing this thing with my students, that solving question is very much different from solving a test, right? Some students are really brilliant as long as solving a particular question is concerned. Unko kitna bhi difficult question de do. In fact, they start their day with this idea that I want to solve most difficult area. Sir, aapko mujhe permutation combination ka topic de to I would like to solve that. Or give me arithmetic and algebra. Algebra ka advanced topic, linear equation or inequalities, I would like to solve that. They start their day with that. They are brilliant as long as solving a question is concerned. The moment I put them in the testing environment, the entire logic of solving the question and everything goes for a toss. They were supposed to solve 10 questions, easy questions, but they ended up solving 5 difficult questions. Their percentile is lesser than the percentile of a person who ended up solving 10 easier question, because commonsensically all the questions in the test have got the same score, same weightage, right? So her question ka 3 marks aana hai, that is the logic. So sir, should I go ahead and choose the difficult one? Yes, if you want to satisfy your ego that okay, I can solve a difficult question, go ahead and do that. If you can't, don't do it. Okay. So just to give you an example, this year I was writing an IFT. So in IFT there was one question where a lot of writing needed to be done. That was an easy question, lengthy one. So one of my student ended up solving it. वो बाहर आके मुझे बोला उसने कि सर मैंने ना वो क्वेश्चन सॉल्व कर लिया था कुछ There was some perpendicular wala question on in this triangles. So I told her कि बेटा मैंने तो नहीं solve किया because I thought that is pretty lengthy question. तो उसने बोला नहीं sir, that was easy, you could solve it. But no, I did not want to solve it, right? So I ended up solving approximately 18 odd question, if I remember correctly. I ended up getting 99.7 percentile in IFT. And that too, just to give you the idea, I did IFT ka verbal ability with the sheer intention of passing the time. So मैं जब सुबह गया था, I did not have a mood of writing verbal ability का section, but वो कौन खत्म हो गया था, कुछ करने को था नहीं, तो I started getting into this. I went there, I spent 10 minutes, 8 minutes on verbal ability of that IFT, and I ended up scoring 95 percentile in IFT ka verbal section. So, a student might ask a question, sir, is it possible to score, 10 minutes में 95 percentile? My result is the testimony to that. Point was, I ended up solving vocabulary question, some foreign words question, some synonym, antonym, or fill in the blanks and so on. So that's a few grammar questions. So knowing how to solve a question versus scoring well in the test are two really, really different things. I'll be passing the ideas of that too. Okay, now I would like everybody to do, take a pause, 1 minute, read everything that is there on the screen. Okay, now I think we are clear understanding this. We are fairly, this one gives the idea about reading comprehension. I'm going to focus a lot on this area. First of all, see the topics that they are given. And, without this column as well, LOD stands for level of difficulty. Even if I don't consider this, the moment I'm reading this utopia and dystopia, to just be honest enough and write in the chat box that how many of you already knew the meaning of utopia and dystopia. Why or N should do. If you know already know the meaning of that, write Y. If you don't know the meaning of that, write N. Okay. Thank you so much, guys, for answering. Yes. Most of the, in fact, 95% data that I have received says that, sir, I am not clear about the meaning of utopia and dystopia. So regardless of whether that, this particular, this LOD ka column telling me that it is difficult, without that as well, I could understand this is bloody difficult RC, because the topics are something that is, I don't generally wake up in the morning and decide, okay, I want to read about what is utopia and what is dystopia. So, sir, what do I do in this case? Let's say, for example, this slot 1 was mine. I'm sitting in the test paper and I end up receiving utopia and dystopia. What do I do? First thing first, leave that, go to the other one. Okay, I'll share the reason behind that. I don't do that. I solve all the questions as long as the entire CAT is concerned, except LR part. I'll come to that as well. So if these two words are giving me difficulty, definitely there is something wrong with whatever I have read. I'll tell you, this is nothing wrong with that. Your general life, nothing wrong with that. Why guys that? Because understand, my surrounding, whatever I want to read, I log into my computer, that is giving me the news about what is happening to this, in the wedding of this Vicky Kaushal and Katrina Kaif, where they are having the honeymoon, and what is this Chanki Pandey ka daughter doing, and what is this Sridevi ka daughter doing now. So probably I'm in that age, I don't remember that child's name. I remember this parent's name. This Sridevi ka daughter is Janvi Kapoor, and this girl. Yes, thank you so much, Sudarshan. The Chanki Pandey ka daughter is Ananya Pandey. Yes, thank you so much. Janvi Kapoor and Ananya Pandey. So what they're doing, so my computer tells me that, read, Minas, don't read anything, read this. My mobile, when I go to this Instagram and so on, my mobiles and everything tells me that, okay, read about this, read about that. I don't generally wake up and decide to read this. Understand this Mayan civilization. What is the level? I knew it was either difficult or medium. Marshmallow theory. I have never bloody read this theory in my life. I will have to read that at the very particular moment and understand, okay, what this is talking about. Yeah, मुझे उस time पे logic लगाना पड़ेगा कि क्या बोल रहा है, because I never read it. So the empire, the first empire, Chinese tea, probably, you know, tea and China, we are close to it, so we might have read it. Again, I'm just speculating. But how many questions, sir? These 16 questions. Overall difficulty is difficult. Overall LOD is difficult. So this test paper is categorically telling, boss, if you're not really good with reading difficult stuff, not my regular stuff, not even the moderate stuff, this is not about, you know, even this editorial, the Hindu or the Times of India editorial are also lower than this. So, sir, how do I read this? That's the entire different discussion altogether. But understand, this test paper is shouting that, boss, if you don't know how to read difficult areas, absolutely nothing is going to happen in the test paper. You will start your entire test paper with the wrong mood. Okay, sir, isme 4 RC the, I had 16 questions, I couldn't understand anything. I don't think I'll be able to do anything in the next part. Right? That is the LRDI. So this is telling, this is shouting, okay, this is difficult, sir. I can't, you know, work with that. Similarly, you can see verbal ability. Now, a lot of students tell me, okay, sir, you know, what if my reading comprehensions are not good? I would do one thing, you know, I would go to this verbal ability. I will try to solve parajumbles out of context and summary. And believe me, guys, doing summary is very easy. Doing out of context thing is very easy. Doing parajumble is big pain. You know, after a lot of practice, a lot of students are not very comfortable with it. Out of 3 questions, even if you get 1 correct, consider yourself lucky. 1 correct hoga, 2 incorrect honge. All of them are theta, so you still get 3 marks. Parajumbles is that area. However much practice you have done, you would still be under the doubt. So what do I do? You know, is this correct answer? Because what will happen in parajumble? If I will give you the explanation, you will accept my explanation. हाँ sir, ऐसे ही तो था. पता नहीं उस time पे मैंने क्या सोचा. Like this, I don't know what was I thinking at that point of time. So that is why. So taking control of this area is slightly more complicated than taking control of RC. RC is difficult, but if you take proper care of that, you will be able to reach to this. So hopefully we have understood this areas. The overall level of difficulty, this is difficult, this is medium. Test paper is shouting, I am not easy. Somebody who has not had sufficient, you know, 10 months ka good heavy reading is not going to be able to crack it. Okay, Gopesh is a query. Generally, when I read articles online, it's quite easy to comprehend fully, but when there is a passage given to me, a lot of trouble even when I practice it on daily basis. Gopesh, hoga, it is a long-term thing. Nothing is a quick fix, so it will take time. See, first of all, when you are saying that, when I read the online RC, the comprehension easy, that statement itself is wrong, because the moment I ask you to explain something to me, you will give me the wrong interpretation of that. So why do you think that RCs are difficult? Because RC mein that guy is asking a question and you are getting the questions wrong. In this online passages, nobody is asking a question and you don't get whether you are doing right or wrong. So your conclusion that when I read online, it is easy, that itself is wrong. If RCs are wrong, your reading is wrong. It is as simple an explanation as this. Okay. First set done. Let us go to the second set. Again, have the same format of reading. Take 1 minute, read everything here. Okay. All right. Now, again, all the RCs in MCQ format. Now you can understand the topic: nationalism and colonialism in India, decline of languages, knowledge and skepticism, relationship between power and truth. All these 3 things, at least RC2, RC3, and RC4, are based on something called philosophy. This is philosophy of language, philosophy of learning, philosophy of power and truth. And I can see, without getting into the details of these are not very familiar of reading. I'm not very familiar with reading about languages. And very honestly, guys, I've read more than 1,000 books in my life. Depending, so topic of the subject of this book, language, very rarely. I remember a book called this one, Story of Philosophy. That is very bulky book. I read it 4 or 5 years back. In that, yes, some portion of that thing is gone into language. They've devoted, but generally we don't read about language. We are not very good very good with understanding languages as such. We have predisposition of learning language, but apart from our mother tongue, baju wala language seekhna is slightly difficult for human being. So that's why most of the population is not multilingual, right? India mein we consider it to be very easy because we learn Hindi, English, and the local language. I happen to learn, fortunately, I happen to learn Hindi. That was my ghar ka language. English because of school, Gujarati because of I was born and brought up in Gujarat, Urdu because I was sent to madrasa, Arabic because I was sent to madrasa. Still don't understand Arabic, but I can read it properly. So I ended up reading 5 different languages till the time I was 14. That does not happen across the world, right? So we are not very good with reading these three. This one, nationalism and colonialism, brilliant. I probably for last 5 years, I know China ke khilaf we are doing something. Pakistan is a bad country. We are going towards Afghanistan, we are helping Afghanistan and so on. So if we are doing this, somewhat reading would be done of this. So understand this nationalism and colonialism, that guy has made the RC difficult. The topic is this what we call familiar to us, and the RC questions are difficult. The reading is difficult. This one all. So overall, see, without proper guidance of reading and preparation, I might be able to do this for 8 questions. Probably, out of them 6 will be correct, 2 will be wrong. Still, I'm not doing much of the stuff, at least not the justice with this. Same logic with this. All the medium, this difficulty level is medium, so should not be a problem. Again, over emphasis on this verbal ability is going to be detrimental to us. Thank you so much, Sudarshan. Chalo, next one. Everybody read this. Okay, chalo. So nanoparticles, probably those who have watched the Avenger, this one, Endgame या उससे पहले वाला, when the New York fight is there, Iron Man says that it's a nanotech to this guy, what do you call, Hulk, Dr. Banner. We are Infinity War. Not Chitrans, not Ant-Man. उसमें भी है शायद, but Infinity War में this guy says, वो यहाँ पे press करके वो पूरा suit आ जाता है, वो उसको Squidward को मारता है, and so that's a very interesting scene. So that is where probably a lot of people have heard the word called nanotech or nanoparticles and so on. So probably that is the only familiarity we have. General reader, general Indian student has got this. Other one, timekeeping entropy. Sir, I don't really know what the entropy is. Language is an instinct? Hoga. I don't know. Difficult. How the concept of unconscious entered the psychoanalysis. I know without reading anything, this is really going to be extremely difficult passage to understand for a general student. General students do not read this, understand. A college going kid does not read about how the unconscious entered the psychoanalysis, or he doesn't read about timekeeping and entropy, right? What he reads it, what happened in the last night ka match, and he has watched the entire match. He's reading the entire detailed analysis again in the newspaper of the match he has already watched in detail, right? So we are not very good with this, right? So in this one, again, parasymbol. So sir, what conclusion we are drawing here? Understand, CAT is on this, IIMs are on this. We know that you can read English. Let's talk further. This is the logic. We know you can read English. Let us talk about the next thing. Can you work with difficult logic? Can you work with complex information? So what is the purpose of giving the RC? Can you interpret the text? If you are receiving a difficult text, can you get the proper premises, proper conclusion, proper, can you find out the assumption? Can you come to the inferences? Can you find out how can you make your argument strong or weak? Or what extra information would you need to answer this particular question? All this critical reasoning stuff, reading comprehension stuff is getting checked. So CAT is beyond reading. So if you're thinking, okay, sir, mera to English acha hai, I've been studying in KV for English speaking or English education for last 12 years. I think I'll be doing really well with verbal ability. Big bull, not going to happen, because the question level, this what do you call complexity of the text is really beyond what we usually read, right? So my conclusion, sir, unless I have read approximately for approximately 6 or 7 months, the level of articles that I generally share in the group, or the articles that are coming on this difficult level of books such as this Sapiens, or this what do you call this Outliers, this you will know Harari the 21 lessons for 21st century. All this difficult text, difficult as in not language wise difficult, language is difficult by default, difficult context wise, content wise. So what do these authors do? This Aeon essays, yes, Pranjit, that is usually the article that I keep on sharing. Psyche essays, you have this Art and Letters Daily, you have the author called Nassim Nicholas Taleb. All these are difficult writers. What do Shashi Tharoor? They try to incorporate multiple ideas in a particular paragraph, particular sentence. Your ability to identify those various ideas, take the important thing out of that and use it to your advantage for the question solving, that is what is checked. CAT, so understand this thing, CAT is beyond English. CAT is not asking कि इसका मतलब क्या होता है, इस word का मतलब क्या होता है, fill in the blank and grammar में इसका क्या mistake है. CAT is not asking that. CAT is asking, boss, okay, chalo, forget, you know grammar, you know vocabulary, you know everything. Let us read this and go ahead and talk about this. Okay, that is what CAT is. So proper reading for approximately 6 months, at least 3 months. 3 months after particular thing. I'll tell you what that thing is. You do that thing, go to this what do you call 3 months ka proper reading. And what I mean by proper reading, I'll tell you in between when I'm coming to the analysis. You will be able to work with this question. I'm still not saying you'll be able to solve them. I'm saying that you will be able to work with them. Okay. Yes, Diksha, Guardian is also very good. Guardian ka few articles are really good. These are some articles to read for VS. Yes, Guardian, Aeon are good one. BBC technology is also very good. Okay. This is as long as data interpretation and logical reasoning is concerned. So everybody read this first. I'll explain it in a while. Okay. Bar graph with numbers for 2019-20 for different items grouped in furniture, tech, and office stationery. Okay. This one, friends, acquaintances, stranger among 7 friends. Okay. Cost price of various fruit getting mixed, various smoothies. Okay. 8 people, 3 countries, 4 issues, 18 papers. Wonderful. Generally speaking, if I take a survey of 10 students, 8 of them will say that we are very good with LR, sir. They'll say that we are very good with LR and not very good with data interpretation. This is the strike rate has been for last 10 years. Okay. So why is that, sir? One particular reason is that we do not work for data interpretation part regularly as we do on logical reasoning part. Understand, just those who are my students, just go ahead and check your learn tab ka verbal this LRDI section. In LR you have solved few questions, in DI you have not solved so many questions. That will give you the testimony of that we are focusing a lot on logical reasoning and very less on DI. But understand, DI questions are easy. So easy as in compared to the other stuff, easy, not easy compared to the other thing, these are easy. लॉजिकल रीजनिंग आर यूजुअली डिफिकल्ट और मीडियम टू डिफिकल्ट, ठीक है. So fortunately 6 questions here, logical reasoning question are 6 here, very good. Even if you're solving only 1 or 2 set, you are clearing the cutoff by a big margin, so should not be a problem. So don't worry about that. But understand guys, what is LR and data interpretation logical reasoning checking. So if you have seen few of the questions, you would realize these are also text heavy questions. You're reading a lot of stuff, then finding out certain number of conclusions, certain number of logics out of it. So this is one level further. In LR, this VA, verbal ability and RC, you're still only reading and naturally coming to a particular conclusion. If your reading is good, you will read and you will naturally come to a particular conclusion. In data interpretation and logical reasoning, you will have to read, comprehend, understand, and then work to reach to third or fourth level of conclusion. So let's say, for example, this one level of conclusion is the person who is who has got 10 marks, 10 more marks in the in the subject will get his surname is not Bhatia and he's not living in Mumbai. So I am not given statements directly, absolutely not. You take any LR section, you would realize I am not given information directly. उसको ऐसे 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 घुमा फिरा के दिया हुआ. Your ability to find important stuff out of that and put it on paper is what is getting checked. And is this difficult, sir? LRDI? Absolutely difficult. I don't have any shame, any reservation saying that the toughest part in the CAT is data interpretation and logical reasoning. Toughest as in less of a learning, more of the practice. The more you practice, the better you will get at the speed, better you will get at this familiarity and so on. I'll come to that. But understand the tough part and observe the variety. And very honestly, this one, I've solved more than 1,000 sets of LRDI so far, guys. This one was very unique. Not as unique, but because out of those 1,000, I might have solved 5 or 7 sets of this, not more than that. Others were pretty familiar. This one is unfamiliar, and they are giving 6 questions to it. So probably as a test paper writer, I'm thinking, यार मुझे इसको कर लेना चाहिए. 6 क्वेश्चन है, अगर चलो 4 भी हो गए मेरा तो काम बन जाएगा. 4 is very good number. मैं 2 सेट सॉल्व कर लूंगा. 4 4 8 हो गया. 8 3 24. I'm done. I'm thinking like that, but the set is little less familiar. Next one. Okay. In this, usually the familiarity is higher. Bar graph, if you have solved 100 data interpretation set, definitely you have solved at least 20 bar graph sets. So don't worry, familiar, absolutely no problem. Tournament, I think we have already gone through of the previous batch students, at least 1 2 3 and 5. They would know that we have gone through 4 different lectures of tournaments, every possible variety except one which I have not shared yet. Except one, all the varieties of tournaments we have already discussed. So I think that was familiar to this, and that's why the level easy, because this is fairly familiar set. Rating, this is again very frequent thing in the test papers. This one, distribution, is again frequent thing, but that was difficult because in distribution you do not have a definite answer. One more thing, most of the questions in data interpretation thing, you would realize that the difficult set has got something called if this then what category ka question. Data is not given totally, you can't do much with data. The questions are saying, okay, what if A is sitting beside B, who will be in the third position left to D, something like that. So a lot of complicated information given, lot of complicated questions asked. If you do not have control over reading fast, comprehending fast, if you do not have a control on these 3 things, you will definitely struggle with all these questions. Right? These are not easy, guys. By any means, these are not easy. In fact, this one set, probably this one, set on question creator. No, this one. Give me a second. The first wala jo set tha, first wale slot mein, this set, 8 people, 3 countries, 4 issues, 18 papers. Asha ma'am ended up solving this set in 24 minutes. And I know that Asha ma'am's average come approximately 11 minutes for a set. She is brilliant as long as the arrangement and logical reasoning part is concerned. Okay, she can solve question mentally. At least half of the question she can solve mentally without writing a lot of stuff. Those who have attended her lectures would know. She ended up taking approximately 20-24 minutes for this. Yes, 24 minutes, 6 questions, 24 marks, good enough for clearing the cutoff. But 24 minutes, understand, where she has already solved so many questions. That this is what I mean by complexity of the text, complexity of the data. Understand this one, 8 4s are 32. You add one more angle, that is 3 countries. You add 18 papers. I don't know how many angles you are supposed to add to it, right? So questions of data interpretation and logical reasoning, not just sets, guys. Sets are going to be difficult. Questions are going to be even more complicated. Right, chalo, read this one. Because Sudarshan, familiarity, very good question, familiarity, because that is the, what do you call, matrix arrangement. Matrix arrangement, I think any student would end up solving not less than 50 sets of matrix arrangement. So familiarity is pretty high on that. Okay, again, this one difficult set, this too easy. Smart person would end up doing this bar graph, assuming that he has already not decided, sir, you know, I'm not very good with data interpretation. So the moment I see the data interpretation ka question, I don't think I am able to deal with that. So I generally see the graph and leave the test paper. I don't even sit there, spend 2 minutes understanding what the set is saying, or probably I don't even read the question. That person leaving this, he's in a soup, because he will be able to do only with this 4 questions. But the other 6 plus 6 are medium and difficult. Ideally, he should be choosing this, but no. So overall, what is my analysis, guys? Data interpretation area is going to check 2 or 3 probably very good abilities. Number 1, reading complex text, understanding that. Number 2, taking multiple complex text and putting them together. Number 3, reaching to a particular conclusion. And if the questions are of the category, if this, then what? Then another thing added, that can you work everything for one question, then again everything for the second question, again everything for the third question, and so on. So if you have practiced few you know, this what do you call, LRDI set, you would know that a lot of questions are falling in the category of if this then what category. They are very irritating. I've also shared that thing in lectures, that they are irritating questions. Okay, now the next part, quant, focus on the arithmetic area. Arithmetic, you have got 10 question, 9 question, and 10. So definitely average is going beyond 9. You can take, you know, being cynic, you can take the average of 9. Out of 9 question, most of the questions are this basic one. You, if you have practiced approximately 400 question, you can definitely solve these 9 questions. There is no doubt about it. I'll come to that, my level of analysis as well. Algebra, 5 question, modern maths, 434, geometry, numbers was not even there in the first set, 2 and 1. So what am I trying to pass on with this, guys? Understand, a lot of students who start preparation new, somehow, I don't know, where do they get this idea from? Probably from internet. You go to Quora and no, different suggestive websites. There are answers written that you should start with numbers. Why the hell would I start with numbers when I'm going to get only 2 or 1 question? Yes, if you go 20, you know, probably 12 or 15 years back, then the emphasis on number was pretty high. You had fairly good amount of questions on numbers, you know, remainder theorem, then HCF, then LCM, then what do you call, number of factors, number of zeros at the end of the number, base system, and all that. Okay, it was heavy. Today you hardly get 2 or 1 question. So practically speaking, you know, if I be very cynic, sir, मुझे तो आपना खाली 10 question कैसे solve करते वो बता दो. My logic will be बेटा focus करो a lot on arithmetic and lot on algebra. That's it. You definitely will be able to solve 10 question. ठीक है, sir, modern maths, geometry, numbers, you might want to avoid that. Say, I'm not suggesting that, understand, I'm not suggesting that, but somebody who is really aggressive on getting, sir, I just want to go and, you know, get the 10 questions correct, however difficult they are of arithmetic and algebra. Anyway, arithmetic is never difficult as such. I want to get arithmetic and algebra properly. I want to solve 10 questions. What do I do? Go ahead, do these two areas and you are done. You're set. Sir, I want to get 90 percentile in, quant section. I know I will not be able to reach to 99 percentile. How can I go ahead and attempt 90 percentile? This is the paper that you have. And I'll be showing you month-wise plan exactly when to do what. Okay. So far in quant, again, so very honestly, guys, if you ask me from the preparer's perspective, quant is the easiest area to get the percentile. This might sound pretty offensive to a lot of students, but this is not. Quant is easy because there are certain number of definite areas that you are supposed to work with, and you will start getting the question. So if I say, sir, how do I ensure that I'm getting 10 questions correct? So yes, Sudarshan, as I told you, some people might find it offensive, but believe me, when I say quant is the easiest out of the three, I really mean that. I really mean that, and this is backing of my 10-12 years of experience. So anyway, so approximately 500 questions you solve, you will get the proper understanding of solving 10 questions. Now, why is that not happening? Sir, I have solved more than 800 questions. Sir, मैंने क्या किया? There are a lot of students. In fact, just to draw parallel, I was just before the session, I was talking to one of my previous students, Aditya Sharma, brilliant chap. Okay, he ended up scoring rank 1 in this CMAT, national rank 84, and rank 1 in this MP, as long as CMAT is concerned. Brilliant chap. He ended up working with this, getting into Wellinger. Right now he's working with Reliance. मजा आया उससे बात करके. I think I spent good 4 hours with him. ठीक है. So when I was talking to him, he told, उसने तो बोला सर मैंने तो ये इधर उधर की बुक से कुछ नहीं किया था, आपने जो मटेरियल दिया था मैंने वो सॉल्व किया था, and I ended up getting it. Why do students do this? Then I told him this. Why even after solving 800 900 questions, a student is not able to get how to solve 10 questions in the test paper? The reason is, number one, when student solves a question, he's more focused on how to apply, how to use the formula and get the answer, and less focused on what the background of the question is, why the hell this question is asked. Am I getting proper this, what do you call, thought process mechanism to solve a question, or I'm just solving a question? Right. So it is like you are not learning how to this what do you call, how to drive. You are just learning, okay, ऐसे करेंगे तो ऐसे होगा. It is never the case. In fact, 7 out of 10 students end up asking this thing to me when I'm teaching quant to them. Sir, ऐसा है तो ये करना होता है. Sir, ये formula कब apply होगा? Boss, believe me, those who are learning quant from me would know I'm less a man of formula than more of logic. मुझे तो formula बहुत सारे याद भी नहीं होते. I derive formula at the time when probably जब जरूरत पड़ती है. But that has not stopped me from scoring 99 percentile in almost all the tests that I end up writing. Almost all the tests I end up writing. Why? Because the questions are focusing on logic of the area. Can you work it out? Chalo, if I without formula, I give you one coordinate geometry ka problem, will you be able to solve? Few of the question, 9 out of 10 students will end up giving, sir, iske to formula yaad nahi hote. One creative student will do something. He will take the paper, he will draw the entire this what we call grid Cartesian graph. He will put the points and he will try to work something out. That is exactly what the CAT paper is looking. They are obviously not asking you to draw the entire table, but entire this Cartesian graph. But what they are looking for, can you apply the logic to that question? And in the classroom I teach logic, I don't teach formulas. Formula Google करो यार, सब सारे मिल जाएंगे. मुझे मिनाज की जरूरत ही नहीं है आपको formulas ढूंढने के लिए. You have all the formulas, your bloody entire knowledge available on Google, right? Why do you need Minaj? Minaj is coming into picture when he wants to teach you how to think about that particular problem. So if you have seen in a lot of quant lectures, I have done this. Okay, stop. First of all, so you have a set, you have a question. I ask you, stop. What are you going to do? Think that first. Just because, अच्छा सर ऐसा क्वेश्चन मैंने कहीं देखा है, let me give me a pen. मैंने कई बार सब लोगों को डांटा है, don't use the pen. पहले पेन को हटाओ, पहले सोचो, then write. So you take a pen, start writing something. I don't know what do you write after immediately after reading the question. So you start writing something and then you stuck because you're starting on a wrong foot. Once you see the quant question, the first thing that should come to your mind is, okay, what are the steps I'm going to do? See, numbers and calculations are simply the component of that. The format, the structure of the question is something else. You should know, okay, this should happen, this should happen, this should happen, and this should happen. Okay, तो पहले तो क्या होगा, जैसे something like this, sir, इसका percent this no multiplier concept, something is increasing, decreasing, increasing, ऐसा कोई question दिया है. What I am going to check is, okay, first the number is increasing, then it is decreasing, then again it is increasing, then again it is increasing, and the result is given. Okay, so I am still not applying how much, by how much percentage it is increasing or decreasing. I don't care. What I care is, am I able to find out the structure of the problem? First you structure the problem, you will definitely be able to put the numbers there, plug the numbers there, absolutely no problem. And that's why, no, when you use the options, when I end up teaching a lot of questions using the options, this is the logic. Your structure of solving the problem has to be clear. So sir, why are you focusing a lot on structure? Because bloody MBA problem solving is about structure. If you have read a book on the McKinsey way, consultant who are solving the national level problems. One of my student is he graduated from SCMHRD infrastructure management. He's right now helping, if I remember correctly, MP government creating highways in MP. He was LNCTech engineer. He's helping MP government creating highways. Why? Because he has understood the structures of solving the problem. So usko highway ka problem do, ya airport banane ka problem do, ya give him the problem of finance, he will end up doing this. He has understood the structure of solving the problem. That is what IIMs are looking for. They're not looking for कि कितने लोगों को कितने formulas आते हैं. ठीक है? Do you think IIM is going to be impressed by your ability to remember that the volume of the sphere is 4/3 pi r cube? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. 6 standard ka kid knows that. 6 or 7 standard ka kid knows that. So IIMs are not going to be impressed by your ability to remember formula. They are going to be impressed by, can you take a question, find out structure, find out important parts and plug that. If you remember, I focused a lot on that 2x2 ka format or 2x3 ka format. Reason being, invariably every year I end up solving at least 3 problems in all the tests on that format. Sir, why is that format that important? Because it is checking, can student find out the format in this, all the hodgepodge of data. That is the idea of doing it. So quant is this. Quant is not formula. Quant is not कि sir मैंने 1000 questions solve किए थे. I can tell you, I can train a student who has solved only 500 questions better than the student who has solved 1000 questions and is not trained by me. Logic is fairly simple. यहाँ पे दिमाग लगाना है. 500 questions में you are supposed to apply brain. 1000 questions if you don't apply brain, you will always struggle. ठीक है? So sir, चलो, now I'll go to the next level of analysis. Hopefully everybody so far so clear. All the areas, all the 3 areas we have seen everything in detail. So probably this one quant we have had detailed discussion, but this has to be really clear. Everything in your mind. What exactly is the focus of verbal ability? Why CAT is asking for verbal ability? उनको तो MBA करवाना है सर. MBA के बाद they are going to give a 30 lakhs का package. Why are they asking for reading comprehension? Okay, same for DILR, same for this quant. ठीक है, चलो. Now going to the next part. This score versus percentile. Okay, the 85 and 80 I have kept in gray because any serious aspirant must be able to this able to crack it. No problem with that. The actual story start with 90 percentile. You should be in the top 20,000 of the student, 10% of the student, assuming 2 lakh, knowing 2 lakh people end up writing the test. So 27 VARC, 27 score tantamount to this this 9 question. 27 marks is equal to 9 question. 17 marks is equal to this 6 questions. So one set, one difficult set, even if you take 20 minutes solving that, no problem, you are still going to get 90%. Okay, 23 is equal to this 7 questions, 7 or 8 questions, 8 correct, 1 wrong, and so on. So only after doing arithmetic, only after doing one set of 6 questions, only after doing 2 or 3 RCs, 2 RCs, 1 parajumble and so on, 1 summary and so on, you would be able to get 90%. In 2000, 19 ka CAT, I think 20 ka CAT, I had one student who was very clear about verbal abilities. Sir, I'll attempt 13, I'll get 13 correct. He was very clear about this reading comprehension section. So he ended up doing that. 13 questions, 13 correct, 39 marks, approximately 99 के आसपास percentile he scored. Brilliant, absolutely no problem. Nothing wrong with that, right? ठीक है. Check that how much extra score I need to do to increase in the percentile. There is a huge gap. Obviously, there is a tough competition. Everybody is higher scorer. So 41 to 45, even if you're scoring 4 more marks, you're still increasing your percentile by only 0.5. 4 more marks, 6 more marks, you're still increasing your percentile by only 0.5. This is how much increase? 4 plus 3, 7 increase. So this is how it is going to happen. Now, this is the level 1 analysis, score versus percentile. I'm getting into one more step. That is this. Understand it really, really carefully. This table. Understand the heading of it. Ability to solve versus months of preparation. Now, ability to solve means I'm not telling that you will be able to solve this in the test. Understand it really, really carefully. This is not you will be able to solve in the test. In the test, this number straight away goes by half. सीधा आधा हो जाता है. Reason being, so why? If I, so like this, thought process is like this. I train you for verbal ability for 3 months. And I give you CAT ka paper, CAT-21 ka slot 1, you will be able to solve 6 questions definitely. So sir, how did you come to this conclusion? This is my analysis. I spent good 3-4 days with all the test papers of 21, and I realized, okay, this question could be solved, this question could be solved, this question could be solved in this time. And so because just to give you my profile, I've been training students for last 10 years. I have mentored more than 10,000 or 12,000 students. I have solved most of the 30 years ka CAT papers. Last 5 years ka I have definitely solved. With the proper mentoring and everything, I have come to this particular conclusion that after checking all the students, I came to the conclusion that 3 months my student will be able to solve 6 questions from that particular set. Okay, without the test. If I give you, मैं आपको पूरा 2 घंटा देता हूं, आप सिर्फ verbal ability का question paper attempt करो, you will be able to get 6 correct out of it. If I don't do that, I tell you, okay, beta, sit in the test and get me the answer correct. The answer will straight away be done by half. You will be able to do only 3 questions because the test pressure is entirely different ball game altogether. I'll come to that at the end of the test. This is it. So 6, 4, 4, 10, 11, 12. So just for an example, sir, if I want to get, let's say 95 percentile in this verbal ability, the solving ability will come. 95 or 32. So solving ability will come in 6 months. 6 months mein I will make myself capable enough to solve 11 questions from this what do you call 24 questions of verbal ability to score 95 percentile without the test, not in the test setting. Only in regular, आप आराम से इसी रूम में बैठे हो बिना टेंशन के, 2 घंटा है आपके पास, आप आराम से पढ़ रहे हो, सोल्व कर रहे हो, ये सारी चीजें कर रहे हो, you will be able to get 95 percentile का ability in 6 months. Similarly, you can see that if you are preparing for 1 year without the test paper, you will be able to solve the entire test paper without any botheration. आप पूरा का पूरा test paper solve कर दो because you would have done that level of practice. ठीक है? So I'm pretty sure you guys have not done this kind of analysis, and I end up doing this analysis almost every year. Hopefully this idea is getting passed on very, very clearly that these numbers are not in testing format. Testing format में सारी चीजें गड़बड़ हो जाती है, उसके लिए अलग से प्रैक्टिस करना पड़ता है. That's a different thing. This one is about your ability to solve a problem, solve a particular number of questions. Okay, so sir, you mean to say in 9 months of preparation, I will be able to solve most of the test paper. I will be able to get 99.5 percentile. Yes, I'm saying that. You will be able to solve CAT ka paper, right? As I told you that day, I don't know in what lecture I said that. I said one of my student, the day test paper of CAT were released, he solved all the questions on the very same day. I think in 4 or 6 hours, he ended up solving all the questions मतलब 22, so that is 66 question in 4 or 5 hours, 4 or 6 hours. He ended up solving it the very same day. He told me कि सर मेरा तो ये पूरा हो गया है, सारे क्वेश्चन हो गए, टेस्ट पेपर में नहीं बना था. ठीक है, like this, that was probably the discussion. So logic is this: you will be able to solve, definitely you will be able to solve. In the test, I don't know. In the test, I'm absolutely not clear about that. Next one, again, your ability to score 95 percentile can come only in 3 months. So at least slot 2 and slot 3 are concerned. This is slot 1 was slightly more difficult. Baki 9 mahine mein you will be on a very same track, absolutely no problem. You will be able to solve 14-15 questions on that. So sir, in 9 months I will have the ability to score 99.99 percentile in BILR. Absolutely yes sir, I will have that. So just for the clarity, guys, take a screenshot of this one and keep this in phone so that your idea is clear about it. And stick to this. This is what the reality is looking like. Chalo. Next one, this. If I give you 1 year ka practice, 1 year ka preparation, you will be able to solve all the 20 questions of the set. Absolutely no problem. As I told you guys, any question that is outside, not in the outside the test paper environment, it will be done. So sir, if I give you the test, what will happen? You will be able to solve 10 questions. Okay. Without the test, 20 questions. With the test, this what do you call without test paper ka practice, with the test you will be able to solve only 10 questions. Okay. So hopefully this screenshot is also done. Okay. Quant 1, this one. Now, okay, nothing much to explain here on this one, guys. Now, sir, how did you come to this particular number? How do you know that a student, any student, I really mean by that, any student, be it, BCom ka student or BA ka student or, this, what do you call it, engineering ka student or pharmacy ka student, any student who is spending 3 months judiciously, very, very clearly, sir, exactly these are the steps I want to do. In fact, this, what do you call it? When students start, when they Google, how to prepare for CAT, they are getting any left, right, and center answers. In that, a lot of different kind of books are added. Aap ye subscribe kar lo, wo book kharid lo, ye phalana kar lo, dimka kar lo. What happens in that? There is no clear guidance, clear step-by-step thing. So, sir, I'm done with this. What should I do next? I know I'm supposed to do this much. I don't know whether this is visible in screen or not. Yeah, this is screen. I know I want to do this much. But sir, what is the first step? Kal ko utھ ke kya karu main? It's like, I call it the political leader syndrome. Okay, what do I mean by that? This one. कि मैं स्टेज पे जाके खड़ा होऊंगा, दुनिया में शांति होनी चाहिए. So my irritation starts. Boss, forget that. दुनिया में शांति. मैंने क्या करना है कल मैं जाके तीन रोटी कम खाऊं, मैं 2 एक्सरसाइज करूं, मैं साइकिलिंग करूं, मैं कल नहीं नहाऊं. On what basis I can contribute to the world peace? Tell me that. दुनिया में शांति होनी चाहिए. I know that. Tell me exactly what I have to do. So that exact moment, exacting thing I am not getting, and that's where the problem is. So I want to do this much. What is the first step? Okay, first step for Devesh would be fairly different from Sudarshan, would be fairly different from Nitish. Right? So what are those first steps? This process needs to be defined, and that is exactly where I've done this analysis that this is the first step, this has to be first step, this has to be second step, this has to be third step. Generally for a particular student it may differ, but what difference फिर वो 180 degree नहीं होगा. It will be slightly course correction, and that student is on track. So that I'll show that analysis. This one is that analysis. Everybody, I would like you guys to take the screenshot of this as well. So smart prep plan visualization. What should exactly a student do in a particular situation? So like this, VARC, man. First thing first, some important markers. March, because first 2 months, February and March. April, 1 marker, because by then your this what do you call it, test series will start. You will start getting into testing format and solving question format. August, after August, or from August, your form filling and everything will full-fledgedly start. Your test series will full-fledgedly start. In November 22, obviously your CAT will be there. So first thing first, first 3 months, February, March and April, and some part of May. Understand? Your vocabulary development must go. Now, some of you might feel this, sir, at the beginning of the session, you told CAT doesn't ask vocabulary this, vocabulary that, only IFT ask. You bashed vocabulary left, right, and center. Now you are asking us to work on vocabulary. Understand? This color scaling is intensity to reduction. Okay. First 1 month, be hellishly clear on vocabulary. Sir, I think I should have at least you should have at least 400 to 500 very good level words in your vocabulary to understand what the articles are written about. So, sir, why are you emphasizing on this? Invariably, out of 10 students I check, 9 will say this. 9, जैसे अभी मुझे गोपेश ने बताया था, sir, I understand the articles very clearly. On online articles, the moment I'm solving the RCs, I get wrong, because boss, you're not understanding. आपका conclusion ही गलत है. You're not understanding the passages or this articles properly. If you are understanding them properly, you will definitely get the answers correct. अब यहाँ पे गलत आ रहा है तो this conclusion is wrong. So 9 out of 10 question students, I tell them, वो मुझे बोलते हैं, सर मेरा verbal difficult है. Okay, wait, verbal खराब है. I give them one paragraph. This was 3 days back. I did with one student. There was one CAT का passage I gave him. उसने read किया. I just asked him, what is the tone of the passage? So he said, sir, it's very positive tone. It is talking about, the app usage and blah, blah, blah. First thing first, he understood that wrong. Tone of the passage was negative. I don't straight away go with the passage. I go passage. I go with the paragraph. Read this paragraph and tell me. So he reads it. He understands. Okay, sir, this is the meaning. फिर जहां पे I find out that his meaning is going awry or going haywire, I'll ask him, okay, tell me what is the meaning of this sentence. He says, okay, sir, I did not understand this sentence because of this word. So bloody tell me that you are not able to understand the sentence. Don't tell me that you are not able to understand the passage. This is the problem when a student start thinking, वो सीधा judgment लगाता है कि सर मुझे तो verbal नहीं आ रहा. अरे भाई verbal में क्या नहीं आ रहा है? Tell me that. Verbal में are you not able to understand questions? Okay, sir, question तो समझ में आ जाता है. Are you not able to understand the passage? Okay, paragraph. Okay, sentence. Okay, word. That is where my problem starts. That is why I'm extremely bullish on having a tremendous amount of vocabulary. And believe me, guys, I've never met a guy who is smart enough, who is very good reader and with poor vocabulary. And the other way around, somebody who's got a good vocabulary is definitely a very good reader. And believe me, this is coming from the reader, right? I've read more books than you can imagine, more articles that you can imagine. I read daily so much that you don't know, you don't have absolutely any idea. आपको लगता है ना किसी को पढ़ना बहुत अच्छा लगता है, तो मैं उसका बाप हूँ. That way, not bragging, not anything. This is, I'm just trying to prove why this vocabulary is supposed to be really, really important. So first 1 month, definite focus on vocabulary. Sir, in 1 month, I should have at least 400, 500 words, very usually used word in the vocabulary, articles. I'm supposed to be really clear about that. But sir, वो याद नहीं रहते. Don't bullshit yourself. Don't bullshit me. वो याद तभी रहेंगे. You will be able to remember only when you are regularly using them. Do you really forget your friend's name or your this what you call your this professor's name? Do you really forget the name of the people you are frequently interacting? Absolutely not. If that is happening, you should really consult the doctor. अगर वैसा हो रहा है तो you should go and consult the doctor, right? So you don't. That is why remember those words. Either you use them in the vocabulary or this daily conversation, या तो उस level का movies देखो, start watching movies, TED videos and so on. Get into that article reading, start writing WATs and your blogs and diaries and so on, and start reading about them. First 2 months, definite focus. February, March, slowly, gradually, the vocabulary task will go in the background. Then vocabulary will not naturally effectively happen. You don't need to take efforts for that. You will have it naturally. तो कहीं पे पढ़ रहे हो, you are finding, okay, this word I have not seen. Okay, let me go ahead and Google it. So उसमें हो जाएगा. That is okay. So this should happen till the month of May. this what do you call February, March, April, half of May. 4 months, focus on vocabulary. Along with that, you will start from February end itself, learning to read for the main argument. Because in February, you have worked really well on vocabulary. At least you are able to understand 90-95% of the content that is written in the passage or the article or the paragraph, right? Start looking for the main argument of that. What is the main argument? This is a different session altogether. I end up taking 2.5 to 3 hours session on how to find out the main argument. And the CAT ka passages that we have seen, don't worry, I'm going to discuss most of the passages in the lecture format, so we are not going to miss them. We are going to solve them absolutely. So I'll also teach you that how exactly to learn to read the main argument. Students read, they don't look for the information. वो मुझे बोलते हैं सर ये पूरा लिखा हुआ है, so भाई मुझे पूरा लिखा हुआ से मतलब नहीं. What if I have to explain that in one sentence? What is that sentence? If you are not coming to that sentence, you have not understood the article really well or the passage really well. Then slowly, gradually start practicing 300 passages. Increase the intensity till July. ठीक है, 300 passages. Slowly, gradually. पहले we'll be doing 1 in a day, 2 in a day. At least start from April, May, June. Probably 1, 2, 3 in a day. Till this July end, you should be done with 300 passages. Because August onwards, your actual test series will start. At that point of time, you will just be doing the analysis of this and not practicing separate RCs. By that time, I would expect you are done and dusted with that, right? Then obviously, May onwards, you will start learning parajumble odd sentences summaries. Until the end of August, you should be able to do 200s of each, so 600 questions. We have sufficient resources for that. You don't need to do any extra this practice for this. You have sufficient resources, so go ahead, do 200 and done. Okay, then so far I think it looks like vocabulary. It is the lengthier task, but it is the definite help. So it is like this. You start breaking the cell of something, you will go to something called the smallest possible part, that is called DNA. This is DNA. Vocabulary is DNA of your English. If your vocabulary is good, again, I am assuming that we are fairly clear about syntax. Syntax simply means you know how the sentence are formed, you know how the sentence are created. If no, go back to this prepare for CAT 2023. Go back to some books and start learning how the grammar works and so on. Okay. Then this one, and your test series should start from May. Start writing mocks. Slowly, gradually, we'll start writing here. August onwards, we will be ensuring the strength of that. August onwards, you will be definitely doing one mock every day. Aaj ka ho gaya, tomorrow analysis, the day after tomorrow mock, next day analysis, next day mock, next day analysis, and so on. And analysis would take double the time that is there. Again, I will be taking entire 2-3 hours ka session on how to do the analysis of the test paper. So no problem so far. Okay. So take a screenshot of this, guys. Okay, so next one, same DILR timeline. First thing first, in first 2 months, February and March, definitely understand some MR tools. MR stands for mathematical reasoning. What I mean by that, your capacity to understand percentages, ratios, cost, and profit and loss, and so on. Okay. Linear equation would be one of that. So if you want to write percentage, ratios, linear equation, quadratic equation, these 3-4 things you must be comfortable, because mathematical reasoning tools are based on that. So first 2 months, take control of this. Similarly, first 2 months, so iska pehle control leke, then reduce the intensity. In here, learn the different formats of solving the question. Different formats, I mean by this. So there is one very prominent type of question of the matrix arrangement. We must be very comfortable with that. In 2 months, you should be solving not less than this what do you call 30-40 sets, so that you are fairly comfortable with the format. Number two, know that in incoming and outgoing ka format, there is this very particular type of question where this some people are coming into the museum, then they are staying for 2 hours, then every 1 hour there is one entry, and then a few people are leaving. How many people are there in the museum for 12 noon and so on? So those kind of questions, those kind of formats. Okay. Then you have this table format of information. You learn increase decrease ka format and so on. So first 2 months, try learning the mathematical reasoning tools and formats of the different solutions. Okay. We have sufficient material. All the material that we have is based on that. So don't worry, you'll be learning that. And moreover, I'll also be taking few sessions on this. What do you call this LR and DI super session. So in that we will be taking care of that. After that, once you are done with this, from April till August, 100 LR sets, 100 DI sets. So 100, 120. So practically speaking, you will end up solving around 200 questions, till 200 sets, not questions, sorry, not questions, 200 sets till the end of August. And at the end of August, the learning part from the set will go on. Learning is done. So 120 plus 120, which is equal to 240 sets. So April, May, June, July, August, 5 months, 240 sets. How many? 48 sets a month, approximately 2 sets a day. This is how the calculation happens. Every day you solve 2 sets, one of LR, one of DI, one of LR, one of DI, and so on. Continuously for 5 months, you will be solving 120 sets. Now, definitely you're done. As long as the learning part is done, so shuru mein you will have the lesser intensity, then it will increase. Same for practice and DI sets as well. Then you will start writing mocks, and slowly, eventually, you will reach to that particular level. So how to write the test will happen in the end of August. How to particularly write DI LR set in the test. Outside, you will do till the month of August. Take a screenshot of this. Okay. Next one, QA timeline. Now observe, there are so previous two things are not knowledge based, guys. You don't need knowledge to crack LR. Format of this, what you call, knowledge of format is necessary. Knowledge of particular area is not necessary. Same with verbal ability. Verbal RC mein you have got paragraphs from how this piracy is happening in oceans and so on. I don't need to know about that, right? I can just understand the main arguments and go ahead with that. But QA, on the other hand, requires knowledge acquisition. So when to acquire what knowledge? It is this. First of all, 1 month mental calculation tools. Absolutely no doubt about it. I have seen. So I'll give you this very clear argument. Question paper, any question for that matter, has got 3 aspects. Number 1 is reading. Number 2 is comprehending. Number 3 is solving. Reading, those who have already read few stuff will not find any problem with quant question reading. DILR and verbal ability probably will be tough, but quant questions are not difficult to read. Slightly difficult to understand, but the students who have not done proper calculation practice will have a lot of trouble solving the question, because you know what happens. Question solve karo, beech mein kahin pe question aa gaya, you're supposed to do 43 into 27, then you're supposed to find out 5 ka square, then in dono ka difference nikalna, then you're supposed to, you are irritated by this calculation and not what the question is saying. You're more focused, sir pata nahi kitna calculation karna padega. That's why if you observe, when you practice, the first thing you do after reading the question is picking up a pen and then chalo kuch to likh lete hain. So thinking or writing is not thinking. You know आप अपने आप को ऐसे संभालते हो कि नहीं मिनहाज, you are writing something, कुछ तो चल रहा, कुछ तो अच्छा हो रहा है. My algorithm says the lesser the writing in the paper, the higher the score. Lesser the writing, the higher the score, right? General algorithm. Don't do this, कि सर ने तो बोला कुछ नहीं लिखना है, अभी देखते हैं कितना स्कोर आता है. That so it doesn't happen that way, right? Okay, so ideally lesser the writing, higher the score. That is the scenario. Okay, so mental calculation tool, first one definitely you should do. Multiplication of 1 into 1 to 20 into 20, fraction from 1 by 1 to 1 by 30, squares till 30, cubes till 10 or 15 should be okay. then factorial till some number, till at least 10. You will thank yourself. You cannot thank yourself more when starting the preparation. First month, definite focus has to be there immediately. So once you start working on that, March, this Feb mid and arithmetic, March end tak, you complete the arithmetic part. Arithmetic 1 simply stands for percentage, profit and loss, SICI, ratios, proportion, allegations, this averages and partnership. Although these are 8 topics, these are easy to understand. You can easily control them in 1 month. It is not going to take more time than 1 month. Again, I'm repeating for the sake of students who want to write it. Percentage, profit and loss, SICI, ratios, ratio proportions, allegation mixtures, averages, and partnership. So total 9 topic, depends on how you define them. 8 to 9 topic. Sir, can we take care of them in 1 month? Definitely 8 topic को control करने में you would need 2 days. ठीक है, so even if you're doing 8 or 9, 18 दिन में, 20 दिन में, you should be able to do that. So no problem so far. March end, arithmetic 1 part must be done. ठीक है, nothing should go beyond this. Then pure 2 months, probably half of March, April and May should be spent on algebra. Algebra is tough, guys. I'm considering from the non-engineering student aspect. And algebra is a procedural thing. Procedural simply means that you are supposed to know a lot of formats of solving the question before you jump to solving that question. So sir, ये question को ऐसा क्यों करते हैं? Boss, people have already found out the method to solve that problem. That's why we are supposed to apply that. If you want to reinvent the method of solving at that particular moment, not going to happen. So algebra is very famous for knowledge acquisition. You will have to acquire a lot of knowledge beforehand. So some people have already solved. So this what is a cube minus b cube? Sir, that is a minus b. A square plus ab plus b square. Sir, ऐसा कैसे होता है? होता है भाई. People have decided. You just are supposed to remember this. Okay, you want to go in the proof? Go ahead. Most welcome to do it. But that is not needed. ये याद करना पड़ेगा. So even though I am saying that I am not a man of formula, there are few DNA things that you have to do. So this mental calculation and algebraic formulas are the DNA of that. You don't want to work on them. ठीक है, अब इसको याद करना. A plus b whole square is what? A square plus 2ab plus b square. This has to be remembered. That's it, nothing else. Okay, algebra will take 2 months. Arithmetic 1 will take 1 month, 1.5, 1 month, not more than that. Algebra will definitely take 2 months. We usually go very slow as long as algebra is concerned, because there are so many things that you have to learn, you have to remember, and you have to apply. And again, as I told you, procedural question. Then the moment you are done with algebra, you go ahead with arithmetic 2. 1 month of arithmetic 2, that is TSD and time and work. So approximately 5 or 6 lectures I ended up taking of TSD and time and work. Definitely, there's one very beautiful method that we have invented over the period of time. You go ahead 1 month for time, speed and distance, and time and work. Then numbers. Sir, why numbers at the last? I've already given you the reason, because only 1 or 2 questions. You just need to remember a few things and apply to them, nothing else. And probably along with that, we will also start modern maths. August, September, modern maths. Those who want to clear most of the things till here, those who have started long back would probably be able to clear most of the things by May or June. But those who are starting from now, you should be able to complete modern maths by the end of September. Okay, not earlier than that. Zaroot hi nahi hai. Why would you focus? It will be like an overkill. When a person can be killed by 1 bullet, why would you go ahead and put 10 into them? Right? So it's like this. And obviously, you will have the mocks starting here. Now understand, because when the mocks are starting here, you have not done much of the stuff. So you will have this feeling, sir, mock mein score nahi aa raha, mock mein score nahi aa raha. Boss, mock mein August, September tak score nahi aayega. Your mock ka score goes like this. It's a logarithmic, not logarithmic, exponential scale. It is not a linear scale. Dhire dhire improve hota hai, aisa nahi. It is exponential. One critical moment will happen. Tipping point, we call that. The tipping point happens, you understand few things, you go. So, as I was talking about this guy, Aditya Sharma, my student who ended up scoring rank 1 in MP, his first mock score was 9 or 7. 9 or 7. He's a Punjabi guy. He came to this meet me after the session. अब उसने ऐसे बोला कि सर मैं आपको क्या मुंह दिखाऊं, मेरा तो 9 का स्कोर आया है, ठीक है. And he was happy. 9 का स्कोर आया, 9, 7 ऐसे 26, 25 ऐसे करके he ended up scoring in few of the CATs, he ended up scoring 98% LCM CATs. And that's how he did it. So first few mocks are going to be lesser scored. Again, this is not the agenda. We will see this mock everything later on. So take a screenshot of this. Okay, Sudarshan. All right. Now, the one very important aspect, as long as students are concerned, you see, guys, this is one of the best thing that I can teach you today, how to get into layered thinking. And one of the best thing I found in my career, my entire my earlier career of marketing, and now in the academics and learning of finance. And how do I learn? I learn this way. I have done one of the big problems, of one of the biggest problem solving skills this way: layered thinking. What is layered thinking? I'll give you the chance to take a screenshot of this. First thing first, like this, think about it. सर मुझे अरिथमेटिक में दिक्कत आ रही नहीं, that is not the correct conclusion to come. You don't have a problem with arithmetic, you have a problem with something. Tell me what is that. So you think like this: okay, there is an arithmetic area, in that there is something called SICI, simple interest and compound interest. Okay, that is again a big thing. What I am going is, I am going into a very detailed thing. What is the next thing, sir? Okay, in that I am going to focus on, I'm struggling with compound interest. What in compound interest? I'm struggling with difference of 3 years. I know how to find out difference of 2 years. I'm struggling with difference of 3 years. This is what I mean by layered thinking. You are not thinking, sir, mera arithmetic kharab hai ya mera ye algebra kharab hai. You always think like, okay, arithmetic, what in arithmetic? SICI. Okay, what is in that CI? Okay, CI mein what? Okay, this difference of 3 years. Always this. If you're not able to reach to the exact point of the problem, sir, this step I'm not understanding, or how is this happening, you are not doing justice to your preparation. So this is what I told you about thinking. Okay, if you're not thinking, you will not be reaching to this. Then even if you go ahead and solve 1,000 questions, nothing is going to happen. Your score is not going to change. Your score is going to change only when you are thinking from this deep perspective. I'm getting into the details of this. I'm going to the DNA of things. Okay. Then similarly, algebra, sir, algebra mein what? Algebra mein, sir, quadratic equation. Quadratic equation mein what? Sir, nature of roots. Okay, what is nature of roots? Alpha, beta, and gamma. So what in that product and sum of the roots mein I have a problem. This level of detailing, if you're not doing with preparation, guys, you're not preparing. You're just patting yourself back, your back. अच्छा हाँ, Minaz, you're doing something. कुछ तो चल रहा है CAT में. लोगों को बोलने के लिए तो हो रहा है. I go to CAT का coaching. This is, if you're not doing this, it is just that, all the feelings, nothing else. Similarly, let's say geometry. Geometry mein next thing is circle. Okay, what in circle? Circle mein, sir, you have chords. Okay, chords mein what? Sir, there are two theories how to find out the chords ka value. I'm not able to understand that. So I feel, what I suggest is, in such cases, when students give me a very particular level of problem, I tell them, okay, go ahead and work on this. So my solution is refined after that. In fact, 3 days back, I was talking to one of the student, it was this. She told me, sir, I am struggling with alligation and mixture ka problem. Okay, so I gave her 2-3 problems. She solved them, and then I realized what she was doing was, she was simply implementing the solution that I had told her. She did not think about the question. What is question saying? Question mein kya pucha ja raha hai? Okay, question is talking about this. So that alligation mixture mein most of us are aware about that star, wo x bana ke method, beach mein we find out the average value, here are the extreme values, and then you find out the differences, then find out the ratios of that. She was implementing that. We discussed a bit. We both came to the conclusion that, okay, she was not reading the question properly. She was not looking what exactly I'm supposed to find out. She was doing, okay, alligation mixture ka method hota hai, I have to apply. If you're not getting into that level of detailing, solution will not come. If you want to find out a solution, that level of detailing, that DNA analysis has to be done. So, sir, what is the layered thinking in verbal ability? Passages, sir, I don't understand the passages. No, that is wrong. You don't understand the main argument. Sir, why don't I understand the main argument? Because you don't understand the sentence. Sir, why do I not understand the sentence? Because you don't understand the words. This is my basic argument. Hopefully everybody has got that. If you wish to take the screenshot of this, go ahead and take this one, the layered thinking one. Very important. Give me a minute, guys. I'll come back. Okay. This is number 1 screenshot. Number 2 screenshot. Okay. Now we are going to the last part of the session. That is this one. Understand this. As I told you at the beginning of the session, these all are your ability to solve questions, not in the test, outside the test. So, sir, how do I ensure that I'm able to solve these questions in the test? It is like this, guys. Understand? If in the movie, this, Mary Com, very, very interesting dialogue. This Priyanka Chopra recites. Very, very interesting one. That किसी को इतना भी मत डराओ कि उसके वो डर से डरना बंद कर दे. I think that is the conclusion of that. I don't remember the exact dialogue, but this is the conclusion. किसी को इतना भी मत डराओ that कि वो डरना बंद कर दे, डर से डरना बंद कर दे, right? So, what my point is, if you are, not able to solve it, not so, sir, कैसे करेंगे? Fairly simple. Sit down in the SimCAT. Sit down in the SimCAT. Sit there for two hours. Start solving the question. इतनी बार उससे मार खा लो SimCAT से, that okay done. I know what. अभी SimCAT में सबसे खराब यही होता है. I've already done that. अभी इससे जो अच्छा होगा, अभी जो भी होगा इससे अच्छा होने वाला. That kind of thinking. So you do it so many times that it happens. Now one more thing. It is not about practice again. Understand? I read it and that was life-changing moment for me. I read it somewhere that practice doesn't make perfect, practice makes permanent. So if you're practicing wrong, your wrong thing will become permanent. If you're practicing right, your right thing will become permanent. So practice doesn't make perfect, practice makes permanent. You have to get into the analysis. Okay, sir, my capacity is solving of 11 questions. Why am I not able to do that thing in the SimCATs or in the practice step when the moment pressure of time is coming? Why am I not able to do it? So you find that out. Okay, is my problem I'm not reading question properly? In a lot of students have got this term, sir, silly mistake. Sir, boss, mistake is mistake. Silly or blunder does not matter. Mistake is mistake. They are costing you marks. So consider them, take them seriously. कि वो silly mistake उसको नाम आपने silly दे दिया तो वो silly बन गया क्या? नहीं ना. That is going to cost you marks. So ensure that you are really focusing on them. Why did I take 25 instead of 23? Why did I 33 minus 22 किया तो 11 आंसर आना चाहिए था? Why did I take 9? All these things are supposed to be considered. So when you are doing practicing, you are supposed to find out that kind of analysis, that kind of detailing. So that is how your practice and SimCATs are going to help. So only solving questions are not going to help, guys. Absolutely not. So after 6 months you are coming to me and telling, sir, मैंने तो सारा material complete कर लिया है, अभी तो मेरा score आ जाना चाहिए. Boss, it doesn't work that way. First, material completed. Okay, have you done it in the thoughtful manner or you have just completed because somebody asked you to do it? Number one. Number two, have you done the analysis of how are you doing in SimCATs? What is the score? Why are the scores improving? Verbal ability, why are you not able to choose a proper RC? DILR, why are you always stuck with one set which you are not able to solve? Quant, you don't know algebra, you are still solving the algebra question. What is that? There are 10 questions coming from arithmetic. Why are you not doing them? All these questions are supposed to be answered while doing this. That's why SimCAT analysis, practice tab analysis is going to take more than 2 hours. So SimCAT analysis takes 4 hours, guys. 2 घंटे का टेस्ट है, 4 घंटे का एनालिसिस होगा, 3 घंटे का टेस्ट है, it will take 6 hours का एनालिसिस, double the time. It is as simple as that, right? And how many questions are you going to solve in practice tab? 2035. This will ensure that nothing sort of gap is there in your learning, in your understanding. 2035, very big number. Similarly, in SimCATs, you will end up solving more than 3,500 questions. This is exactly this, 76 into 41. That is the answer. Okay. So these many questions you will end up solving in this. So it is not just, so in conclusion, what do I say? It is not just about solving the problems, solving the problem in a thoughtful manner, in the proper structured manner, understand the structure, apply the structure, find out if you can improve that structure. Obviously, because I have prepared the structure, I have prepared it after a lot of thoughts. So usme improvement lana almost impossible, but yes, still you can try. सर इसको मैं ऐसे करूंगा तो वैसे करूंगा तो दैट इज बेटर. Number 3, ensure that you're not missing the practice tab and simcats, assuming that you're already working on learn tab and so on. ठीक है. Now, so this 3876 questions are from mocks, and you will also be having 36 sectionals. Sudarshan, this is simply multiplication. These numbers are in our IMS portal. These are number in IMS portal. IMS portal में इतने questions है, so you do them. This is the thing. Okay. Now we are open for this questioning. I just wanted to share one very interesting news. Following the processes, a student can score, even if she's from BA, she can score 97.97 percentile, almost 98 percentile. Sir, is it possible for non-engineer to score 98 percentile? Yes, sir. This is the result. Okay. And believe me, to be very clear, her material tracker file was immaculate. Every time I asked her in the mentoring, have you done that? Everything was properly filled. They done the SIMCAT analysis, everything properly done. And believe me, she is not satisfied. I'm not satisfied with 97, 98 percentile. She is definitely going to IIMs, but not satisfied with this. Understand this, 98 percentile are also not good for us, both of us. I was thinking she will do better, but anyway, 98 percentile for a BA economics students, BA non-engineering students, brilliant.